Assalamualaikum. I will begin this presentation by explaining the function of the eyes. Basically, the eyes are the receptor organs of the sight, and their function are to receive images and transmit them to the brain. Next is structure of the eye. The structure of the eye include the eyeball and the anexa, which are attached to or surround the eyeball. So, what is actually the anexa of the eyes? The anexa of the eyes are the structures outside the eyeball. These include the orbit, eye muscles, eyelids, eyelashes, conjunctiva, and lacrimal apparatus. Let me explain with the orbit first. As we know, the orbit is one of the anexa of the eyes. The orbit, also known as the eye socket, is the bony cavity of the skull that contains and protects the eyeball and its associated muscles, blood vessels, and nerves. Next is muscle of the eye. There are 6 major eye muscles, which are arranged in 3 pairs, are attached to each eye. These are the superior and inferior oblique muscles, superior and inferior rectus muscles, lateral and medial rectus muscles. These muscles make a wide range of very precise eye movement possible. Oblique describes an angle that is slanted, but is not perpendicular or parallel, while rectus means straight. Binocular vision. Binocular vision occurs when the muscles of both eyes work together in coordination to make normal depth perception possible. What is actually depth perception? Depth perception is the ability to see things in 3 dimensions. So for the next structure, I will pass it to our next presenter.
So next, we move to the eyelids and eyebrows. So what is eyelids? Eyelids is a thin fold of skin that covers and protects an eye. Eyebrows. Eyebrows is an area of short hairs above each eye that follows the shape of the lower margin of the brow ridges of some mammals. So what is canthus? Canthus is either corner of the eye where the upper and lower eyelids meet. So next is eyelashes. Eyelashes is a group of the shortest hairs of the body that grow around the edge of the eyelid. They operate as dust catchers, protecting the eye from debris that can obstruct vision or cause infection or injury. So cilia. Cilia, which are small hairs, make up the eyebrows and eyelashes. So cilia also present in the nose to prevent foreign matter from being inhaled. So what is tarsus? Tarsus, also known as the tarsal plate, the framework within the upper and lower eyelids that provides the necessary stiffness and shape. Next, we move to the conjunctiva, the transparent mucous membrane that lines the underside of each eyelid and continues to form a protective covering over the exposed surface. Next, we move to the slide of lacrimal apparatus. So first is lacrimal glands. Lacrimal glands is a secret lacrimal fluid or tears and are located on the underside of the upper eyelid, just above the outer corner of each eye. So second is lacrimal fluid. So it is commonly known as tears, which is to maintain and moisture on the angle. So number 2 is lacrimal fluid. So it is So next we move to the second one is lacrimal fluid. So it is commonly known as tears, which is to maintain moisture on the anterior surface of the eyeball. Blinking distributes the lacrimal fluid across the eye. So the third one is lacrimal canal. So it is consists of a duct at the inner corner of each eye. So these ducts collect tears and empty them into lacrimal sacs. So crying is the overflowing of tears from the lacrimal canals. So the fourth one is lacrimal sac. It is also known the tear sac, which is an enlargement of the upper portion of the lacrimal ducts. Last but not least is lacrimal duct. It is also known as the nasolacrimal duct, which is the passageway that trains access ears and the nose.
Thank you, presenter. So next, I'm going to introduce myself. I am Raphael Edwin, and as for my part, I'm going to present about the eyeball. So as you guys can see here, here is the diagram shows about the eyeball. So the eyeball or globe is spherical in shape and about 1 inch across with only 1/6 of its surface visible. So today, let's learn about the term. So the first term is optic, which is pertaining to the eye or sight. Second, ocular, which is pertaining to the eye. The third one is extraocular, which is outside the eyeball. And last but not least is intraocular, within the eyeball. Walls of the eyeball. So that there are 3 layers, which are sclera, choroid, and retina. Let's explain more about sclera. Sclera, known as the white of eyes, which maintains the shapes of eye, and it also protects the delicate inner layers of tissue. Fibrous tissue forms the outer layer of the eye, except for the part covered by the cornea. Sclero, which is the combination words, which means the white of eye or means heart. Next, let's explain about the choroid. Choroid, known as the choroid cord, the apical middle part of the eyeball that contains many blood vessels. It provides the blood supply for the entire eye. Opaque, which means the light cannot pass through this substance. Next is retina. Retina is the sensitive innermost layer that lines the posterior segment of the eye. The receiver nerve impulses and transmits them to the brain via the optic nerve. The optic nerve, also known as the second cranial nerve. So these are the segments of the eyeball. They are anterior and posterior segment. Next, let's learn about the anterior segment of the eye, which make up the front 1/3 of the eyeball. It was divided into anterior and posterior chambers. Anterior chambers is located behind the cornea and in front of the iris. Meanwhile, the posterior chamber is located behind the iris and in front of the ligaments, holding the lens in place. A aqueous humor, or known as aqueous fluid, fills both of these chambers. It helps the eye maintain its shapes and nourishes the intraocular structure. This fluid is constantly filtered and drained to the trabecular meshwork and the canal of sclerum. Intraocular pressure, or IOP, is a measurement of the fluid pressure inside the eye, and this pressure is regulated by the rate at which aqueous humor enters and leaves the eye. Posterior segment of the eye. It makes up the remaining 2/3 of the eyeball, is lined with the retina and filled with fibrous humor, or also known as vitreous gel, which is soft, clear, and jelly-like mass that contain millions of fine fibers. Fibers is attached to the surface of retina and help eye maintain its shapes. So that's for my part. Thank you, and I'm going to pass to the next presenter.
So let's move to our next topic, which is the retina. Before that, my name was Muhammad Aiman Hakim bin Sabari, and I'll be the next presenter. Alright, so as we know, retina was the innermost layer lining posterior segment of the eye. It be function to receive and to transmit the impulse to the brain through the optic nerve. Alright, so we will see the structure of the retina. As you guys can see here, we have a 5 structure in the retina. The first would be the rods and cones. The rods was the black and white receptor, while for the cones was the color receptor. The function of the black rods and the cones color receptor was to receive image that has been passed through the lens. This image will be converted into the nerve impulse, and then it will be transmitted into the brain via the optic nerve. The second structure was the macula. Macula was the light sensitive area in the center of the retina. It was responsible for the sharp central visions that we see in our life. Then we move to the third structure was the fovea centralis. Fovea centralis was the pit in the middle of the macula. It has high concentration of cones, and it will allows the best color visions. The fourth structure was the optic disc. Optic disc is where the nerve endings of the retina that enter the optic nerve. It was known also as the blind spot since it has no rods and cones in it. Last structure was the optic nerve. The optic nerve will function and act as a transmitter to transmit the nerve impulse from the retina to the brain. Alright, so the next part was the uvea. Uvea was the pigmented layer of an eye. It has the rich supply of blood. It also consists of 3 things. The first one would be the choroid. The second one was the ciliary body, and last was an iris. Alright, so I'll be explaining about the ciliary body. Ciliary body was a set of muscles and suspensory ligaments that adjust the thickness of the lens and refine the focus of a light rays on the retina. It will produce a curved humor. So, if it wants to focus on a nearby object, the muscle will adjust the lens to make it thicker. And if it wants to focus on a distant object, the muscle will adjust the lens to stretch and make it thinner. So now I'll pass the iris part to the next presenter.
My name is NURUL BATRISYIAH binti SABRI. I will present about the iris, pupil, cornea and lens. Is the color circular part of the eyes surround the black opening the center, called the pupil. It acts like a diaphragm in a camera, controlling the amount of light entering the eye by adjusting the size of the pupil. Muscle within the iris contract to constrict the pupil in the bright light and relax to dilate the pupil in the dim light. This way, your eye can adjust to a different lighting condition and ensure you to have a good vision. The cornea shield the inner part of your eye, like the iris and pupil, from dust, debris, and even some harmful UV rays. As light enter your eyes, the cornea bends it. This initial bending plays a crucial role in focusing light ray onto the retina for a clear vision. The cornea actually accounts for about 2/3 of the eye total focusing. The cornea crystal clear structure allows light to pass through unimpeded, ensuring a sharp image reach the retina. The pupil isn't a fixed size muscle in the iris contract to make the pupil smaller in the bright light and relax to make it larger in the dim light. This way, your eye can adjust to different lighting conditions and maintain a good vision. By controlling the amount of light entering the pupil, help to regulate the overall brightness we perceive and protect the retina from being too overwhelmed by excessive light. Nestled behind the iris and pupil, the lens sits within a transparent capsule that holds in shape. Its clear, flexible structure with a curved shape, often compared to a bioconvex lens convex on both sides. The lens play a vital role in focusing light ray onto the retina, creating sharp and clear image in work by bending refraction, light further building on the initial bending done by the cornea. By changing its shape, the lens can adjust its focus for objects at different distance, near or far. This ability is called a combination. Overall, the cornea and lens work together as a powerful focusing team, ensuring light rays are precisely directed onto the retina for proper vision. Let's move on to the 5 normal action of the eyes. Accommodation refers to the eye's remarkable ability to adjust its focus for a clear vision at different distance. This is a crucial function that allows us to effortlessly switch focus between near object we hold close, like a book, and faraway object like a mountain in the distance. As we age, the lens gradually loses its flexibility, making it harder to focus on near object. This condition is known as presbyopia and is a common reason why people over 40 need reading glasses. Convergence describes the coordinate movement of both eyes inward and focusing on a near object. This amazing teamwork is essential for maintaining binocular vision. Binocular vision, this refers to an ability to use both eyes together to create a single, three-dimensional image. Convergence play a crucial role in achieving this. As we bring an object closer to our face, our eye need to turn slightly inward to maintain focus on the same point. This inward turning movement is convergence. Convergence ensures that the image of the object falls on corresponding point on both retina, allowing the brain to merge these two slightly different images into a single, clear, three-dimensional perception. Sometimes the eye may struggle to converge properly, leading to vision problems like a double vision or eye strain, especially during near work activity like reading. This condition is called convergence insufficiency. Ametropia refers to a normal vision where the eye can focus distant objects clearly and effortlessly without the need of corrective lens like glasses in an ametropic eye. The length of the eyeball and the focusing power of the cornea and lens are perfectly balanced. This allows light ray entering the eye to converge precisely on the retina, result in sharp and clear vision from the distant object. Refraction refers to the process by which light ray bend as they pass through different transparent media. In the eye, this is a crucial step in focusing light to create a clear vision. Visual acuity refers to the sharpness or clarity of vision, particularly the ability to distinguish fine detail and shape at the specific distance. It's often measured using a Snellen chart, a chart with a progressively smaller letter than you read from a standardized distance.